Good things often come in small packages. Or rather, good things often come in at reasonably small tonnages, as far as battle mechs are concerned. Often underestimated, light mechs can make an enormous difference, and as far as light mech development is concerned, the battle mech in this video, upon its arrival in the Inner Sphere, put fear into the hearts of Inner Sphere mech warriors upon making contact with it, even amongst its clan peers. The mech in question can see itself to victory against many of its heavier cousins, if piloted wisely in battle. Clan Cloud Cobra would build a true killer, and the Inner Sphere would feel its wrath through Clan Jade Falcon's seeming obsession with the beast during the clan invasion. If you run from it, you'll probably just die tired. The Kit Fox. A clan light Omnimech weighing in at 30 tons, the Kit Fox is in many ways a pioneer, at least in terms of its introduction in Technical Readout 3050, as to display just how powerful light mechs, and clan light mechs at that, could be. Named for the Norse god Uller by the forces of the Federated Commonwealth, who were the first ones to really engage these little devils with any great frequency, the Kit Fox proved to be an absolute monster for the Inner Sphere during the invasion itself. But despite falling mostly under the banner of Clan Jade Falcon during Operation Revival, the Kit Fox's origins are not found with the Feathered Green Bird clan, which is most famous for using it. Originally constructed in the 29th century by Clan Cloud Cobra, the original intent of the battle mech was simple. The Kit Fox is a mean machine that is meant to be lightweight, but also is meant to be extremely heavily armed, with over half of its overall tonnage being available as pod space for various weapon systems. This just means that the Kit Fox, when factoring in lighter weaponry due to clan technologies, and taking into account that it just has an abundance of open space, can be armed more heavily than many medium mechs, even some clan ones. This means, especially when it was introduced very early on, it can hunt down and simply annihilate Inner Sphere light mechs without any issue, or even their medium mechs. When employed as a flanker or back attacker, this mech can tear through even heavy mechs, which allow themselves to be outfoxed by the Kit Fox. After the initial invasion, the Kit Fox would continue to see service in the invading clans, though the supply of them to the Inner Sphere would diminish with time. Unfortunately for the Fox, their numbers would decline, even within Clan Jade Falcon, which found it could no longer receive new mechs, or manufacture them domestically in their held territories. The latter likely being a choice on behalf of the Falcons as they modernized and shifted their Tumen's tactics after the lessons learned during Revival and through other campaigns. Other clans in the region would also see their stocks dwindle as well, which slowly put the Uller seemingly on notice. Like many other designs from earlier eras, there was a real risk that as the mech stocks were drawn down through attrition, that these war machines of a prior age would just vanish from the battlefield, even within Clan Jade Falcon, who still had the largest numbers remaining in their Tumen moving into the Dark Age and Ilclan eras. The arrival of Clan Snowraven to the Inner Sphere would change that. Clan Snowraven's appearance in the Inner Sphere, and their eventual merging with the Outworld's alliance, created the conditions for a new industrial power in the periphery, in the form of the Raven Alliance. While in earlier eras, prior to the late Dark Age and Ilclan, it would mostly fall to Clan Seafox and their mobile arc ships to distribute clan technologies to the largest number of buyers. Increasingly, the Snowravens, using their powerful fleet of transport ships, and their increasingly powerful industrial base within the Outworld's alliance, such as the industrial complex Beta on Mechella, are seemingly beginning to cut into Seafox's operations. Mechs such as the Bloodasp have found a new home in the Inner Sphere as a result, despite being almost entirely a homeworld clan mech beforehand. But more than just those rarities are going to be making an appearance. The Kit Fox, a light mech seemingly on the verge of extinction, would have life breathed back into it by the Snow Ravens and their industries. This once declining light mech now has the opportunity to be more than a rare bauble in one of the invading clans. The Snow Ravens would not only begin to equip their own forces with the design, but sales to other clans, and even mercenaries would be authorized by the Ravens, greatly expanding the range of this light battle mech. In fact, this lifeline ensures the design will also survive within its traditional home in Clan Jade Falcon, should it continue to thrive into the future, as it procures these machines for their own Tumen once more. Strangely enough, the Uller is more than just an example of Clan Cloud Cobra finding success with light, fast battle mechs. It is also the story of migration, integration, advancement, and industry, though this is all in the light of the Snow Ravens alliance. Still, it is interesting that this mech, in the Inner Sphere, is featured prominently, mostly in the hands of bird-centric clans. The 30-ton clan light Omnimech known as the Kit Fox, or Uller by the Inner Sphere, is an example of how technology can radically transform mechs at a lower tonnage. With the application of advanced clan technologies, Cloud Cobra really didn't leave anything off the table when it came to engineering and building this battle mech, and it shows in every part of its attributes. To begin with its most prevalent feature, the Kit Fox possesses a shocking 16 tons of pod space on board. To give some idea, this means it has more onboard space for weaponry than almost any Inner Sphere light mech from the 31st century, barring a few mechs like the Hollander, which is a mech that may have had some inspiration from the Uller in some respects itself. This means it will always hit very hard for its weight. Next, it uses advanced clan endo steel for its internal structure to save weight, but at the expense of a relatively small number of critical spaces. Because the Uller is so light, this isn't really a major issue, as it won't have the tonnage to overextend its internal space anyway. Just due to the era of its construction, it has a standard gyro and cockpit. For cooling, the Kit Fox benefits from having a base level of clan double heatsinks, which means it cools 20 every turn. This is more than adequate, considering its tonnage and the systems it will likely be deployed with. For onboard electronics, it has a Cobra Talk 12 communications package, and for its targeting and tracking system, it has a Series XXX multi-track system. Neither of these provide it with any additional traits. However, the Kit Fox does have a very powerful quirk, which is the narrow or low profile trait, making it more survivable as it benefits more easily from glancing blows when using the advanced rules. While many other clan light mechs may have enormous potential for speed, the Uller does need to make sacrifices to carry its potentially large arsenal. While this mech isn't slow, it's not the speedster many of its later peers may be. Powered by a 3.5-ton Starfire 180XL fusion engine, the Kit Fox can reach a maximum speed of 97 km per hour, or 9 movement points in the tabletop game. The advanced XL engine from the clans at least means that it's not as vulnerable as if it was using a traditional XL type engine from the Star League era, though this power plant still can add weaknesses if it loses a side torso or is critically hit. The mobility that the Kit Fox possesses allows it to reposition or attack slower targets, and it is fast enough to not be completely overwhelmed by faster light adversaries. However, if push does come to shove, it will be limited in its ability to avoid incoming fire on speed alone. Any Kit Fox pilot should be wise to this. Like almost any battle mech, it's hard for them to be perfect, and the Kit Fox is no different. While it has a moderate speed for its tonnage, which does lend somewhat to its protection, in the realm of physical defense, the Kit Fox's base chassis makes a compromise to fit more pod space. It does try to mitigate the limited tonnage invested into this realm by using advanced clan ferrofibrous armor, in this case, Compound H-18, but it would be a lie to say that it is well protected for its weight and combat role. The Kit Fox comes with 4 tons of plating, yielding it 76 points of armor in-game. To give perspective, it cannot be struck by an inner sphere PPC anywhere on the hull of the mech without being penetrated, including its center torso. When enough attention is cast in the Kit Fox's direction, it will suffer, no matter the adversary. This, along with its other traits, frame the mech's usage. It hits very, very hard for its weight, but it must strike at the right time, or reprisals will see it utterly destroyed. The Kit Fox Prime is heavily gunned as compared to its inner sphere counterparts, but isn't necessarily in contrast to its clan ones. What it does benefit from is having an abundance of options, superb range, and the ability to provide scatter damage to crit-seek damaged targets. Starting with its primary weapon, in the left arm, the Uller Prime has an ER large laser. This long-range system gives it excellent reach, going up to 25 hexes, making it one of the most effective weapon systems in the game in this regard. But it also delivers a devastating amount of damage, matching an inner sphere PPC. It does not need ammunition as well, meaning that as long as the Uller is capable, it will fire every turn. In the same arm, it has a small pulse laser too, for dealing with up-close targets and infantry. Backing this up for long range, and mounted in the right arm, it has an LB-5X autocannon with 1 ton of ammunition. This system goes as far as the primary laser, but also deals scatter damage instead, blistering targets with deadly pellets like a shotgun that may hit critical components on enemy mechs. It pairs very well with the primary laser. As a final system in the right arm once more, to help defend itself at close range, it has a Streak SRM-4, which not only does scatter damage, but the individual missiles do more damage than its LBX autocannon's pellets, making each round heavier and more likely to breach armor on their own. It's a fantastic standoff platform, using its speed to attempt to keep at range, and gunning down lighter targets, be they vehicles or mechs, that try to close with it, before moving into a harassment role. Better yet, even alpha striking will keep this mech heat neutral, which is excellent. Its primary problems are related to low armor, and if it is caught by any moderately heavily gunned medium or light mech, it can rapidly degrade, especially since all of its weapons are in its arms, and only its arms. Simplicity works. This is a motto I follow very much in my own analysis of battle mechs and their variants and configurations. The Uller A, one of the mainline invasion models, also indulges this idea, and it's very simple. This is also very comparable to the Kit Fox H, which is functionally the same machine, barring changing out one set of systems. Basically, these two variants are the precursors to the Inner Sphere's Hollander in many respects. It is a light mech, which has some reasonable mobility, that has a Gauss rifle. The Gauss rifle in question is mounted in the right arm, and has 16 rounds of ammunition. This is its main weapon, and the main purpose for its being. The weapon punches through armored plating with ease, and can decapitate enemy mechs of any weight with a single well-placed shot to the head. It has a very long range as well. On the relatively quick chassis that is the Kit Fox, for this heavy cannon, it is spectacularly effective. Backing this up in the A variant, it has a pair of ER medium lasers in the left arm. These do reasonable damage, have solid range, and are its main backup for when the cannon runs out of ammunition, or other targets begin getting too close for comfort. The H, on the other hand, just has 2 heavy medium lasers instead of the A's ER medium lasers. These do more damage, but have a much shorter range, and are slightly less accurate. It's just a different way of getting support to the Gauss rifle, and staving off or discouraging enemy attacks at close ranges. Both have value, though I suspect the A is the more competent of the two designs, if only slightly. Still, the Kit Fox A and H have a killer reputation, if for no other reason than the gun slung in the right arm. As if to display the pure power of clan missile technologies, the Kit Fox D is one of the most ridiculous, and powerful clan designs of its time. Using the clan's advanced, lightweight LRM systems, it can hammer targets indirectly from afar, or in close, and does so for half the tonnage of its inner sphere counterparts. This is so extreme that the Kitfox D, in fact, outguns the inner sphere's trebuchet and catapult in their missile systems. Because the Kitfox D has a pair of LRM-15s with 16 rounds of ammunition each, with one in the left arm and one in the right arm. Then it has an LRM-5 with 24 rounds of ammunition, as well as a NARC missile beacon system in the right arm. Because of its lack of close-range limitations on its LRMs too, it's basically a walking super shotgun at almost all ranges. If it had more armor plating, it would easily dispatch almost any of its inner sphere counterparts, even into the heavier mech tiers. It is both shocking and brutal. Perhaps one of the most dangerous mechs of its type, the W dispenses any pretenses of attempting to make a nuanced machine, and leans into the most powerful systems the clans make. It has a pair of large pulse lasers, and a pair of medium pulse lasers, split evenly between its two arms. This means the Kitfox is extremely accurate, hitting targets out to 20 hexes reliably with its big guns. If it alpha strikes, it will overheat, but beyond this, it is just a hyper-accurate, deadly death dealer on the tabletop. This is what clan optimization looks like, and it's on point, hard-hitting, and terrifying. Clan weaponry is very powerful, and while many other Ilclan era variants are worth noting, and are extremely dangerous in their own right, it'd be impossible to not cover the V configuration, if only because of its absurdity. While its cousin the D configuration is a light mech parodying powerful indirect support mechs, the V variant is a 97 km/h sprinting artillery battery. Literally. For defending itself against enemies that close with it, it has a pair of ER small lasers, but these are an afterthought, to be sure, because its main weapon is an Arrow 4 artillery system, mounted in its right arm and right torso. It also has 15 rounds of ammunition. This weapon can fire a multitude of ammunition types too. However, to call this just absurd would be more correct, but it is also fantastically effective. Almost every other Arrow 4 platform is of the slower variety, even when it is affixed to a vehicle. The Kitfox V is a fast mech by contrast to these, and has the same firepower output. It's absolutely terrifying to behold, if you even get the opportunity to see it. Most people, given its range, will never have the opportunity to be afraid before they are destroyed. Despite not being as in-your-face as many other clan mechs from Technical Readout 3050, in regards to being central to the setting, the Kitfox surprisingly has had an impact that goes beyond its seemingly limited popularity. It is very much a template for many future mechs from the studios which have touched on Battletech since its introduction, and its influence can be found in both clan and inner sphere designs. The Kitfox now, well past its initial, brutal impact during the clan invasion, which took place in the 1990s in the real world, now serves as a vehicle to see the expansion of Clan Snowraven's importance in the setting, and hopefully their expanding role in it. It is most definitely the little 30-ton devil that could. Thank you very much for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this content, you know as always, it'd be amazing if you hit the thumbs up and like this video. It really does help. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I put up content pretty frequently, and you'll be happy with it, I think. I also want to give an enormous thank you to all the YouTube channel members as always. You guys know that this content is only made possible because of viewers like you. And if you'd like to join in supporting this channel to this extent, don't forget to hit the join button. And with that, I'll catch you all in the comment section below.